can switch the camera on because of the premises, but it is important for us to demonstrate how Umuthi is used. Every time you leave the house, every time you have umsebenzi, every time you bika, sishingo simhlele. But the babies use tobacco. Thokozani Biza nina basekhaya Gogo Masondo, Onomlambo, Bambosida Mizulu. Biza nani base Masekela, Umuthi Mpho. Biza nani basekhweni, Umajola, Mohulu, Ralemole. Nithi sizoqala umsebenzi, nisikhanyisele, nibe nathi, kungabi yibo enza umsebenzi, kube yini ekhakamani. Ithunywa, abalozi, amandawuwe, oluthi mphakame, biza nini entabeni, biza nani nonke, abanomhlaba, abaza ngokukhanya, phakamani, ngiyaniphakamisha namhlanje. Thokozani, Dawuwe, Shere. Thokozani, Sanibonani. I know some people, it's the first time they experience this, but I'm only here as a conduit to share knowledge. You're welcome to ask me any questions when I'm done. I'll be available here in the premises. My name is Mpho Roberta Masondo. I initiated as Gogo Hopane Masekela. I stand here, as I said, not alone, but with other sekhaya, abangulayo, imimoya le ngisebenza nayo, imimoya le nginceda abantu ngayo. It is an honor to speak today, and what I'm going to speak about is the business of Umuthi and the ecosystem of African traditional medicine. Reason I chose this topic, we are sitting on a gold mine, but we are not aware. We are sitting on a gold mine of Umuthi. Unfortunately, we have not been, the knowledge hasn't been shared the right way. So when I say the right way, there are things, practices, and alchemy that has not been told and shared with the world. What is African traditional medicine? African traditional medicine, there's even on the 31st of August, there's African Traditional Medicine Day, which was put into policy by the World Health Organization. So we normally refer to it as ATM, which is obviously the acronym, but in legislature, African traditional medicine is there, African traditional healers are there, but it's a process because they are still busy trying to find ways to incorporate it into the Department of Health. African traditional medicine, it is one of the most powerful resources that Black, I'm saying specifically Black, but other races also incorporate and use it. Most powerful tools, because it is basically a cycle. You use it before you're born, you use it on as you transition into spirituality, and I'm going to try and explain how. But I just want to first say, what is Umuthi? Umuthi is a word of isiZulu, isiXhosa, referred to or translated as medicine. it has different connotations to it, depending on the context that you're referring to. Umuthi is activated by speaking, the person handling Umuthi, the person, as you see all these exhibitors, the plants and the medicine that you are buying here, there's intention that goes behind every plant medicine. And it is important for you, once you bought Umuthi, to put it in Samo or wear a prayer, let me say a prayer altar, and say, I bought these herbs at Central Convention Center from this specific buyer, the seller or exhibitor, and I will be starting to use these herbs. While you're doing that, you are cancelling anything energetically that goes with that Umuthi. How does Umuthi shape our lives? Before conception, there's Imbiza tonics, which help both women and males. For example, Imbiza, there's Usambo Umkunzi to help with the strength and how the herbs, the sperm, how powerful it reaches the womb. There's also fertility herbs for women to strengthen the womb so that it's able to carry the baby. After birth, there's herbs that we bath the newborn in to strengthen so that even if Imimoya or people who are using certain herbs that are too powerful for Umwana, that child is protected. Specifically, I remember long ago, I've got 3 girls. When my firstborn was born, my grand said, no, you need to make sure that people do not see the child at least a month after because we want to strengthen the baby, make sure that Umwana is really needed. But nowadays, people come to the hospital, gifts and everything, but obviously I understand because tradition, it's more of ancestral intelligence, AI. It evolves. And it also accommodates the different developments of society. During initiation, when boys go for circumcision, when people buy a new home, when people start new businesses, when people get positions, I'm going to say positions of Amakos, where you are called to be the CEO or the president of a country, there's herbs that we help you with. Reason being, as soon as energetically you migrate higher, there's certain things that will try and, we call it boom boom, something that will start to mess and destabilize your purpose. So we use herbs also in these people who are in specific positions or who are leaders in the country. Now, when it comes to death, we call it transitioning because we believe that Umuntu, the soul still lives on. So when I'm communicating to my lineage, we still believe that they can hear us. We still believe in reincarnation. So when death happens, I'm just going to make an example. Let's say you get a car accident on one of these roads, and you are from KZN. Usually, or the normal way of how traditional medicine lives in society, the parents or an uncle needs Where was this accident? If it was on Corner Grayson Drive and West, there's a specific herb that we use to come and ask umuntu wasekhaya imoya wakhe uze nathi ekhaya ikhona ukuthi to settle. Otherwise it wanders. And a good example or a good illustration that you need to refer to, there's a lot of people who are just wondering. When someone walks from here at the traffic lights, walks, they're talking. Then they turn. Then they pick up things, they carry things. Why? Because there's Umuthi who was stuck there, who wasn't fetched spiritually. And also when the body arrives from the mortuary, there's herbs that we use to bath the family member. Why? Because we are talking to them to say, Hamba. Let me make an example. Masondo falls under Umuthi. You start with the clan names, Umuthi, Namos, Thokozani, where no guess on movie, Sabanyama guess on romance. Then Espaye, Sabamason. And then you basically pave the way. But there's certain, this is why family and community is so important in Black culture around Umuthi. Because every person plays a role. Traditional healers, uncles, they are the ones who burn in behalf of the family. They are the ones who say, help my uncle's daughter. She has a PhD. She hasn't been working for 15 years. Do you understand? So they almost open up portals using Umuthi. And then, so it is important, I had to illustrate that because it is important to almost like allow the soul to transition in peace, specifically if there was an accident, a car accident. So what kind of Muthi exists? What kinds of Umuthi? There's different species, thousands, hundreds, but the main three sacred categories, we call them Mpho Roberta, which is white herbs. Then we've got Mpho, which is red Muthi, and Mpho black herbs. So Mpho Roberta, think of this when you need cleansing, you need purification, or you want to connect with your ancestors, and you just, for example, had a miscarriage and you want to cleanse. Think of those kind of, even the color is yellowish, whitish, greenish. You can actually, so the bark looks a normal tree, but as we die, it turns red. And these specific herbs are used in healing bloodline-related traumas. So, trauma, think of trauma as what I was talking about now, where there's something that is you can't shape it, you can't put it into English or into a scientific explanation. But you know when something moves you and you can't really put it to say, oh, I can feel I'm not okay. You use Umuthi or both. And then Umuthi powerful, but also also destructive. Remember, there's duality. Even in religion, there's duality. There's darkness, there's light, yin and yang. This Muthi brings a lot of fire. When I say fire, I mean, if you are angry at someone and you're like, this person hasn't brought my money, you use Umuthi Omnyama. When someone is, unfortunately, Ugaja, you know when Ugaja, where you are, literally, I couldn't bring the Lalum, but Ugaja is more like spears. When you feel pain in your body, you don't understand why this is happening. And you just got a position of being the top executive of what. Then someone is like, look, I want this person out of this position. That Gaza. Meaning they are using Umuthi Omnyama to make sure that you are not aligned, to make sure that you are in a position where some of it actually goes with a form of mental health, where you can feel, some people even go to the extent of, at night, they hear footsteps, they see visions in the house, a shadow. So we use Umuthi Omnyama to make sure that we help you when there is witchcraft upon your life. And remember, there is darkness and there is light. It doesn't have to be a traditional leader who puts this darkness or light on your life. An individual can take this capsules bought over here, and you don't know what intentions were put mixing those herbs, and the intention you use them for. And that's why I really like Umuthi. The intention, when you speak into this water, just water, before Umuthi, what you put into this water, your intentions, your words, can really invoke that specific intention. And then how big is this traditional medicine industry? Now I want to get into the stats. Because according to the World Health Organization, literally 80% of South Africans rely on traditional healers, rely on traditional medicine. And I put those on purpose because think of rosemary, think of cinnamon, they are a form of traditional. Some of you are even taking them as tea, and you're not aware that I'm actually consuming Umuthi. In South Africa alone, 27 million people use Umuthi. So this was a study that was done in 2007. 200,000 healers are serving communities. Think of a where the hospitals and unreachable rural places where people cannot get to, I'm going to say a biomedical doctor. They rely on the traditional healer in that community. They are basically the first point of contact when there's anything that they need consultations on. So 200,000 healers compared to 35,000 doctors. 200,000 plus traditional healers compared to 35,000 plus medical doctors. And look at our population just in South Africa. Although it is not, I'm calling it quantified or scientifically proven, more people privately, discreetly go and consult traditional healers. So when I say traditional healing, I'm talking about Inyanga, I'm talking Sanusi, I'm talking about prophets, prophetess and prophetic people. I'm talking about shamans, people who seers, people who do tarot cards, who do Reiki. I'm not only speaking about African traditional healers. This sector, when I saw this, I was blown away. This sector currently is worth $2.9 billion annually. We haven't even touched the cannabis industry. Just Umuthi. So it is not just a side, industry that we should ignore. It is, like I said, we are literally, we are standing on a gold mine, but we're not aware. We are standing on a gold mine, and we're not aware. And it's unfortunate that our leaders are not really spiritual or connected to earth, connected to source. They are only here. When I say here, I think you understand what I mean. They are only, there. But I'm hoping in the future, spiritual people who will lead us as a nation. I know I'm digressing, but right now, our young people need us. The youth needs us. But guess what? We are focusing on other things. Let me move on. How does Umuthi move soil to spirit? So there's a value chain from a farmer, or from us going to harvest Umuthi in different places, different provinces. Then people from Eswatini, Lesotho, Botswana, even other countries, they bring Umuthi in different Muthi markets. For example, in Joburg there's a Faraday. They put it there raw and it's displayed. But if you don't know between white, yellow or black, white, red or black Muthi, you won't be able to understand. But most of them, Yinyanga, herbalists are literally, think of a homeopath. To make sure that your health is taken care of. And once we've harvested this herb, as an example,